Disclaimer. In order, while this review for the film that we're going to review today will be spoiler-free, there will be spoilers for the previous installment in this series, which is only a week old. So, if you have not seen part 1 of Fear Street yet, or you just don't care, as I always say, there will be spoilers for part 1, there won't be for this part. So, that being said, hi, everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Hello. We're back. We're hitting the street again. Fear Street, my friends. We're back. Movies and TVs that we do here, and today we're reviewing a movie. And that movie is Fear Street Part 2, 1978. I've been looking forward to this one since watching Fear Street Part 1 last Saturday. It's directed once again by Leah Janiak, who also wrote the film. And if the first film was Scream, this is Friday the 13th. Interesting. Picking up literally the moment part 1 ended, our lead Dina has discovered that her ex-girlfriend and now girlfriend again, Sam, has been possessed by the spirit of Sarah Fear, who is a witch who put a curse on the town of Shadyside long time ago, back in 1666. And there have been many incidents of people ending up dead in this town. She came into contact at the end of part 1 with a woman by the name of C. Berman, who is played by Gillian Jacobs. Despite hesitation, there's clearly been a lot of trauma there. Miss Berman tells them, "All right, come in. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to explain everything." From there, as her story goes, we go back to 1978, which takes up the majority of the film, with those being bookended with the 94 plot from part 1. And we focus on the Berman sisters. Cindy played in a role from a newcomer that I was unfamiliar with, but who's quite good, Emily Rudd, and her sister Ziggy, played by someone I am familiar with, Sadie Sink of Stranger Things fame, Max from Stranger Things. Cindy's was formerly kind of a wild child, but now she's kind of this buttoned up, sort of, good little girl who has tried to sort of make her life better, focus more on school, not cursing anymore, all that stuff. Basically with the goal of leaving Shadyside in her rear view. But of course that's easier said than done in this town. She's a counselor at Camp Nightwing, which was established in part 1. And one of the last year campers is Sister Ziggy. They're estranged, they struggle with their differences, as does another camper, or another counselor, I suppose. Yeah, counselor, who is an old friend of Cindy's, Alice, played by Ryan Simpkins. And basically, they all have their issues, but what brings you together more than an ancient curse and supernatural serial killers? Especially at camp. Let the adventure begin. That will lead us into our grand finale next week. So, I said that Fear Street the trilogy was going to be on a case-to-case basis. Part 1, if you remember last week, which was, if you saw that review, I gave 4.5 stars to, but I said that I was going to adjust, similar to the It films, I was going to adjust it up or down depending on how the second and third film went. All I will say is, I think I like Part 2 even better. One thing I think it doesn't have that Part 1 did really well, though, is that it has a sense of humor, but it's not self-aware, but that kind of makes sense, because last week was Scream, so there would be more in-jokes. This is Friday the 13th. Emily Rudd does a good job of doing her own variation on like a Laurie Strode or Alice Hardy or Sidney Prescott type character, as does Miss Sink. The kills are really effective, and they're similar to Dr. Sleep. There was one element of the plot that will not be for everyone, and certainly horrified me. It was actually really effective, where I was like, oh, that young child, that 10-year-old kid, you're not going to hurt him, right? Or you're not going to hurt her, right? Oh, you hurt them. Oh, they're dead. damn. In a pretty horrible fashion. Yeah, even Jason wouldn't stoop so low to actually kill the children at the camp, but Sarah Fear doesn't play around. It's has its moments of humor. The needle drops are great right off the bat. Brother Loves Traveling Salvation Show. A really great recurring thing of Carry On My Wayward Son and Cherry Bomb. And not much more to say. The kills are effective. The character relationships really work. I really love the bond between the Vernon sisters as well as their friend Alice. I like the kind of budding pseudo-romance between Ziggy and the young Nick Good, who, of course, if he plays his cards right, becomes Sheriff Nick Good in 1994. And that's really cute, even though it's a little taboo. It's kind of interesting because he's a counselor and she's a camper. It's an interesting dynamic. And it's relatively chaste. Like, it's not, they don't go too far with it. Some fun camp shenanigans, pranks, revenge, what have you. And again, some very gory kills. So, not much more to say. I'm gonna, you know what? Even though I like it a little more, I'm gonna keep it level. I'm gonna give Fear Street Part 2, 1978, 4.5 out of 5 stars, just like I gave Part 1. And then, we'll see you next week for Part 3. But first off, trailer trash. None. Watched on Netflix. Was there shawarma? No, but again, right before the main credits, there is a sort of sneak peek of Part 3 at the end. There's sort of like a coming up next on Fear Street moment, which I guess could be considered a stinger, because after the main film. Alright. We will be back tomorrow with Atypical Season 4. We will be back again next week with a whole heap and helping us stuff, including Loki Season 1. Gunpowder Milkshake review. Escape Room Tournament Champions, Space Jam: A New Legacy, Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain, Fear Street Part 3, 1666, Die in a Gunfight, and possibly a Never Have I Ever Season 2 review in there as well. And then next Thursday, at the very least, we have Snake Eyes, because I got my ticket, and then probably Old, the following weekend. That'll all be next time, and until next time, I'm Grant the Movie and TV Guy. See it all, I'm happy to share with you. I love you all, I appreciate you all, I love you all Customist, I love you 3000, be kind to one another. Go check out Fear Street Part 1 and Part 2, they're both solid. Can't wait for Part 3 now. Thank you all.